Charlotte, I am so excited to welcome you to the Locker Room podcast.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Thank you so much. For those who don't know you, could you share just a little bit about yourself and your background?
I'm Charlotte Simons with the Cincinnati Bengals, and I've been on this cheer journey. I'm going into my 32nd season, which is crazy. How did this happen so quickly? How did I get here? Basically, I started as a cheerleader for the Bengals. I had just graduated high school, was entering Miami University, and I auditioned, made the team. I cheered simultaneously for Miami, and 2 of the 3 years I cheered at Miami, I was fortunate enough to make the team, Bengals, and so I was multitasking, but it was up my alley. It was my life, and that's the trajectory of how I got started. And as time went on, I was the captain of the Miami cheer team my senior year. And my last year of college, I was teaching clinics Southwest for a company called DCA. And I came back from those, cheered my final year at Miami, and was off that year for Bengals. And I got a call back that said, would you? They just had let their coordinator go. Your name keeps coming up, and I know you cheered for 2 seasons. Would you be interested in becoming basically the captain? And I worked under Shirley Burt. There's only been 2 directors in the history of the team. I'm the second. I worked under Shirley for many seasons, like what, total of 13? 2 Super Bowls. I got to cheer in 2 Super Bowls. And yeah, and so my last Super Bowl was 89. So I didn't go back in 90. We went to Super Bowl from 89 to 90 or whatever. I never came back in 90. And in 94, she was retiring. And I got a call from the front office to say, your name keeps coming up again. Would you be interested in taking over just the cheer part? She had been the entertainment director. So she
Okay.
had the halftime band, she had the sideline music and all of that, which was perfect because I was working for a company since college and I actually retired from there. And I wasn't interested in all the other stuff. I just wanted the cheer team. So here we go. And now I'm starting my 32nd season.
Wow.
It's hard to
That
believe.
is amazing.
It's when you're young and they say life is short. Oh my gosh, it's very short.
Yeah. 32 seasons. That's going on 32. That's unbelievable.
It's hard to believe everything I've done forever. So
Yeah.
who I am, but
Yeah.
nevertheless, it's really cool. I have 2 amazing coaches who are also quite tenured too. They both cheered 10 years under me. And we have a team development coach and a head coach. And it's just great every year reinventing ourselves because we are tenured. I want to keep it churning. I want to keep it revolving, keep it fresh. And it's a constant staying close to the team and staying particularly close to the team leaders and to even those who are no longer on the team, just so that we can continue to elevate the program at the highest level and keep it interesting and fun and nurturing. And I feel like we've done a pretty good job with it.
Love that. Speaking of like ever changing and growing and learning, what do you feel like has been the biggest change to the program in your 31, almost 32 years? And what is the one thing that you feel like might still be the same?
I feel like what is still the same, just the beautiful souls of women. We just happen to have women on our team. So I can clearly say that. And it's just at the end of the day, no matter what generation, women who have chosen dance as their art and want to continue it, their hearts and souls or so forth are also very similar, no matter what the age gap or range is. What's different is I think each year, as generations and time changes, I think the generations have changed. And so, once again, it's working to meet what their expectations are, meaning I want to make sure that every person who leaves this program has a legacy. Every person who leaves this program, no matter if they were in it for just 1 year or 5 years or 6 years, I want them to walk away and in 5 years from now or a few years from now, look back and say, okay, that was an extraordinary part of my life. I wish I could recap it. I wish I could bring it back. And that's what I'm most proud of, keeping close with those alumni and people. Charlotte, if you need any help, if you need this, they've left, they've gotten married, had their babies, or moved on in their lives. So I think the bottom line is the deep souls of the individuals is still intact. It's just each year you might have to navigate or pivot a bit on how the team is handled, the deep workings of it.
Yes. And even if it wasn't like a generational thing, I think it is, every team is so different and you have to approach every team differently. You have a different amount of veteran versus rookie, or you have different senior dancers. And so every team, it's not a blanket statement of, okay, this is what we did last year, so here's what we're doing again. You truly do have to treat it like its own identity.
And that's where I work really hard. Like, just because that's how we've done it in the past, and maybe it's been incredibly successful doing it that way in the past, constantly challenging coaches. Like, I don't want to ever get in the comfort rut because this isn't a job to me. This is a passion. It's beyond a job. If it's a job, you're checking boxes. Get through tryouts, check. Get to opening day, check. Get through that. That's not me, and that's not the program. I feel that I am so blessed because it isn't a job. Yes, doing payroll and spreadsheets, that's a job. But the concept and being the coach for all these years, I feel that it's just, there's always room to grow.
Yeah.
And it's fun for me to challenge myself and to challenge our coaches to, let's keep churning, let's keep rolling. Let's keep rolling. Maybe it worked great last year, but I just want to check in and make sure it's the right direction to go the following year.
Yeah. Yeah. I know, I'll look back at, I was on Warriors dance team for 7 seasons and then I coached for 3 years, and we like leaving the arena, there was no, you can't wear a crop top, you have to be covered, all this stuff. But now the attire has changed for this generation. And so they're getting away with a little bit more. I'm like, man, we would have never been able to do that. But you have to you have to truly adapt with the time.
You know what? That's a huge point. And it circles back to initially what your question is, changing and so forth. We had that exact situation. The gals have always come through the stadium looking as fine as Joe Burrow in their dresses. Everybody wants to see what Joe has on. The gals come dressed to a T. And then the first half an hour, once they arrive at 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning, they go out on the field and take whatever pictures they want in their great dresses. And as the season went on, coaches and I thought, is that realistic? And we talked to the line leaders and said, how would you guys feel about being more casual? When I say casual, business casual. Okay, how about some flare jeans? But they're still going to have a little jacket and a button-down shirt or something. And about halfway through the season, they were so excited to get to change that up. And of course, we were hitting the winter months. And so it was cool seeing them coming in their sweaters and their turtlenecks. And everybody loved it. And I think it was just a small tweak. But to your point, yes, it has changed. But we do still expect them to walk through the door, walk through the gate where everybody from what's considered in our stadium called best security, that everybody is happy to see them. We still want it to be classy. That would be my takeaway on our program, or on the ladies, is keeping it classy.
Yeah, love that. And speaking of which, if you had to describe the identity, what would it be?
I think I just used my word, so I don't like to be redundant, but classy, soulful, kind. Those are all. Kind is just such a generic term, but this group of ladies we've had going on our 5th season, especially, with just some deep rooted good people that truly care about one another on the team. I've always experienced in all these years, everybody has favorites, everybody has their clique, their groups. Going on our 5th year, I've never seen such a thing in the earlier years of just how cohesive. If I don't be redundant and use the redundant word, I would say cohesive. They so care about each other, very supportive, because on any team, you're only as good as the weakest link.
Yeah.
And the weakest link could be not because she's not the best dancer, not because of this, could be having other issues in her life that take her mentally away from the group and so forth. But it's incredibly cohesive. It's awesome.
Yeah. We had a dancer who went through our program who made it to finals with you guys, and she had nothing but great things to say about the dancers and how amazing they were to her. She was like, it's just such an amazing organization and such an amazing team. She had nothing but great things to say about all of your dancers and your veterans. And it truly is like building that community, because if one year wasn't your year, it doesn't mean that you're not good, that you're not skilled, and that you're not a great dancer. Sometimes it truly is a numbers game. And sometimes you just need to show up again.
And that brings me to another point I had in my notes too. Let's just say right now we have one person at Pro Bowl. So only one person is selected to go to Pro Bowl. We have 8 people out on tour right now or getting ready to leave Japan, Guam, Kuwait, all over the world. And what I tell the gals introductory meeting is, it's okay if you're not the one. If you're not the one of the 8, be patient, continue to stay focused on why you're here, and there will be something for you. And that's the thing I try to imply to them is, and what I love about this past 5 or so years is that I think they do believe it. There will be my turn if I continue to do the right things. It'll be my turn. Something else that I take away with a lot of pride, and I'm sure other teams do too, but our introductory meeting at the beginning of each year is, okay, look around. We introduce ourselves. Everybody, me, hey, I'm so. And I said, okay, look around. I said, I'm not insinuating you should be getting married and have a big wedding. That's not what I'm saying, but look around, because if that is what your choice is, there's someone or people in this room that's going to be in your wedding and you don't even know their name yet.
Yeah.
And they always come up and say, oh my gosh. And then one of our gals this past weekend or last week at one of our meetings, who's an adorable 5th year, she said she's in a wedding of somebody from another team.
Oh my God.
That she traveled overseas with.
That's amazing.
At the end of the day, that's what floats my boat. Again, is these ladies creating their own story, creating their own legacy. And you know what? It's focusing around what it happens to be around cheerleading and dance, and how lucky is everybody to get to perform. But the interpersonal relationships, they are defining moments. That is what it's about.
And so it truly is just so special. And like this sisterhood truly is unbelievable. And I think that every team gets that. And I think that if you're just auditioning for X team because of the sisterhood, I think that you'd be doing yourself a disservice, because the way that these programs are created, and the bond that you have, and just the time commitment that you have to an organization, you are ultimately going to have sisters for life.
No. And there aren't a lot of, if you're in a sorority in college, yes, you have your college sisters, you have this, you have that, but we are a unique breed.
Yeah.
And it's just a forever grateful life. I know that I'm so thankful to get to be a part of so many journeys. And
yeah, I love that. So great. Okay, can we pivot to audition?
Yes, let's go.
Okay. So you have auditions coming up soon.
Yes.
Can you just give me like the brief rundown first before we dive into everything?
So we're changing it up a little bit this year, but
Perfect.
I, once again, it's worked the way we've done it, but I just feel it's time. Again, it's time to, do an about face and let's change it up. So we will have our usual, I think it's 7 or so, 6 prep classes and a master class, which is really fun, bringing in choreographers of all different styles just to keep it fun. And once we start auditions, we'll put more emphasis this year on an open call preliminaries. And we'll have preliminaries with judges and semifinals, which will be skill sets. And then those people that are left will do, for the lack of term, we'll do something similar to a boot camp, but there'll be 4 nights, 2 in each week, Tuesday, Thursday. Coaches will be a deeper dive. The interview process will be a part of that, but it will give us time as coaches to spend more time with the individuals. Instead of in the past, we have a big audition at the end, open to the public. There's usually about, the place holds 300-ish, some people. So it's a big deal. And the ladies perform, the judges score, the judges do their thing. I'm flip-flopping it. The judging from the outside people will be at the beginning, and then towards the end, it'll be narrowed down to coaches and possibly some interpersonnel in the office or marketing departments, but giving us hopefully time, extra little bit of time to spend with each person, because once again, I want to make sure they're set up for success, that if they are one of the 30, that they will get to perform. And 26 were on the field this past 2 years. And so it's a matter of, then we have a stage, which is tons of fun and something we never had years ago. But at the end of the day, people on the stage want to be on the field. I get it. We just want to make sure that everybody is viable that can maintain field. And if so, this year we started a rotation process that worked pretty well.
Yeah, that's so interesting. The rotation is so helpful, I think. And like we used to have to audition for every single routine. And so you didn't necessarily, if you didn't show up ready to set it, then you might not make it onto that routine because of the audition process. And I don't know what your process looks like for rotation of the 26 ladies who get to actually dance on the field and those who don't. But I think that it's so important to just preface that just making the team is really just the tip of the iceberg of everything that comes with it.
It's true. That's it. That's it. And I think just, even if it's the audition process, look, if we get down to the finals and there's 60-ish, we don't have a set number. If there's 70, if there's 50, this is after preliminary cuts and semifinal cuts.
Yeah.
But once again, I still want that person who isn't one of the 30s to understand her self-worth and value, and hopefully she can come back or does have enough of the skill set level to be able to come back. We've had people, some of our best dancers will remind me, they'll say, Charlotte, I never made it my first year. And I go, really? You didn't? Yeah. So then I'm like, see, okay. All right. Didn't even know. Or no, didn't even think about it. I've had several remind me that they didn't make it the first year. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay.
I think it is what I was saying earlier. It just because it's a no doesn't mean that it's a no forever. It's just a no for not right now. And if you want this, you will continue to keep your head down, your blinders on, and just show up better than you showed up last year so you can make it onto the team. And truly just put in the work to be that professional. And everyone always has something to work on, even when they are on a team. But how can you just make it so the judges say yes to as many things as they possibly can to get you onto that team?
And some of the notes as well that I'm just writing down and getting in my head too. Here's the thing, as people come to an audition, we've had people come from the Cincinnati Bay before, which is a prestigious, okay, well, if you're in the ballet, you're a pretty darn good technical dancer. And you could do things that probably 99.9% of the team can't do.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, okay, what's your audience? You're wearing, in our case, go-go looking boots and with pom-poms. That adds a different layer, a different level of expertise. And maybe you are a profound dancer. Maybe you're better than, gosh, how did she make it? My turns and my this and that were better than hers. But you also have to be able to blend.
Yeah.
And when you add those level of dress, like I said, pom-poms and go-go boots for every little girl or every person that comes through, I would be a millionaire to say, if I got a quarter, a dollar even for everybody said, what brings you here? What's your story? Quote unquote, I've been dancing since I was 3. And sometimes we want to say, okay, but what's happened from 3 years old to 21 years old?
Yeah.
Okay, I get that. We've all done our tap dancing and ballet most likely. Not everybody. Some could have come from a cheer background. But I think some of my biggest advice to people, understand what's the feat at hand. What am I auditioning for? And it's a stage. It's just a different kind of stage. It's a big 100-yard stage.
Yeah.
It's just a different. So it's making sure if you do audition, and some people do go to multiple teams to audition, which I think is a wonderful thing. It's just making sure everybody understands what's the objective? Okay. And sometimes it can get lost in the sauce. The second thing, too, maybe somebody did try out the year before or the year before, maybe 2 years in a row, something like that. And I've had people say, specific people, I know my audition was so much better this year, but last year I made it to finals. This year I didn't. Know your audience, know who the competition is. It also matters. You could have tried out 1 year, not made the team, audition again, and the level of abilities or expertise could change or fluctuate, and maybe you make it. So I think it's, without overthinking it, I still think those are important objectives to keep if you're auditioning, to keep in the back of your mind.
Yeah. So good. It's just like it can be a numbers game, it can be a talent game, and it just depends on how bad you want it and if you're willing to hear the no's to be able to hear the yeses.
And the no's do not mean that you're not a fabulous dancer and that you shouldn't keep rolling on. We have a couple of people, few people that audition for other teams, and my gosh, without pointing out specific people, some of them this year, rookies, like absolutely, we had one of the finest rookie classes I've had in a long time. Again, cohesively, okay, of 11 people. Not saying that in the past I haven't had a couple of rookies that were just breathtaking, but I'm saying of the 11, and I know some of them tried for other teams, and I'm just like, holy cow. A couple of those people are frontline dancer material, class acts. One wears a white coat. What does that tell you? It's a
Yeah.
strong interview, right?
Yeah.
Or a strong, who doesn't want the doctor on the team kind of thing. But at the end of the day, is wow, maybe that team that had to say no to some of those people, I understand, and I understand some of the reasoning, but yes, they're highlights on our team.
Yeah. Yeah.
So every team's needs are different as well, what
Yeah.
everyone perceives.
Absolutely. And I think that, like you said, it's nice that dancers are able to audition for multiple teams nowadays, especially with the virtual submissions. And I think it's truly just going back to what you were saying of figuring out your why of why you want to be on a specific team with a specific program, because you could try out for every single team if you wanted to. Logistically, you couldn't, but if you wanted to, you could. And not all of them are going to be the right fit for you. And so making sure that you are auditioning for the teams that you feel are going to be a great fit for you, and that are vice versa, that you are a good fit for them.
Yeah. And that the community aligns with their lifestyle or hopes of a community.
Yeah.
I think that matters. And again, that's where I feel so blessed and thankful and admire our team so much, is because they are so warm and accepting and bring in the rookies and just making sure that everybody is in the best place that they can be at that time.
Yeah. And honestly, like this, it's exactly why I wanted to have a conversation with you, is to showcase your team and what your ethos is. So other dancers who might just be focused on one team or one area organization, that they can see and learn about your program and be able to say, "Oh, I really love what this team is about, and I want to go audition for them."
Yeah, that's it. And for me, it's just, again, trying to give everybody, as all the auditioners, as much of our opinion or tool sets to do their best.
Yeah.
Because again, only 30 are going to make it. So there's maybe at least 30 once you come down to the final that's not going to make it. And once again, I still want them to have had a warm, fuzzy feeling. Maybe they're sad because they didn't make it.
Yeah.
It's important that they still feel good about themselves. That I can make that happen.
Yeah, absolutely. What would you say that you look for in dancers who are auditioning for your team that they might not think about? Like you mentioned, it's not just all about talent and being the most talented. So for you, what is it?
Okay, I will mention to the skill set thing too. Yes, it's beyond talent, but let's face it, the 10 or so games that they do perform, you do need strong people. But I think making sure that they're able to take constructive criticism, and what is it that they do when you give that back? Because some people will wait after the end of prep classes. What can I do better? Did you notice me? But sometimes when there's 120 or so people in a prep class, yeah, it's hard. But there are still those that will stick out and you keep looking. But I believe, okay, when coaches or myself give feedback, and let's see how they correct it. Some people ask, but then I feel like they don't know how to put it into execute it.
Yeah.
I could tell you, make sure on your leaps you're picking up your back leg, or make sure you're not hopping around on this, and give the constructive. And then how can they execute it? Can they execute it?
Yes.
That's something that we look for. And you had mentioned, okay, besides the talent, that's a given. We do expect you got to have the basic 101s, because we don't have the time. With practices 2 nights to 3 nights, 3 nights during the month of July, we don't have time. If you can't perform and pull up and get your passes and your double turns flawlessly in the go-go boots, then that's an issue. That is an issue, red flag, only because while we love to develop dancers and make them even more elevated on their own stages, yet you still have to have the basic 101. Because I'll get people who will write great letters to say, oh, I've been dancing since I was 3, and I cheered in high school. I'm doing this and doing that, and blah, blah, blah. I love cheerleading and love the Bengals. Yeah, sure. Okay, but they still have to be able to hit just the basics. When you get someone who's just hits the basics, shoot, we can add the fluff and stuff. We can make an impact. We can take it from there.
Yeah.
And you had mentioned too, besides the dance, it's fun to get to know the people and to go through the interview process, but to find out who you are, what motivates you.
Yeah.
But you also, most importantly, or as importantly too, you do want people that can represent the brand, represent the club. And we do have a lot of appearances. So that's huge. We have more appearances than we have games. So it's incredibly important how you show up. And I can't be at all the appearances, not even close. So I have to trust if we're sending 2 or 4 people, and I have to trust that, shoot, not even worried. You know what I mean?
Yes.
That you will show up in the right glam, and have the right shaking hands and holding babies. And that's huge. So, yes, off the field behavior is incredibly important.
Yeah. And like you are a brand ambassador first, last, and always when it comes to this job, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Yeah.
For technique, I always tell the dancers in our community that you have to have a double turn, kicks on both sides, especially for NFL, and then a leap. Anything else outside of that for you guys?
Your point on. That's basic.
Yeah.
And yes, then choreographers will throw in, can anybody do a head spray, different
Yeah.
tricks?
Yeah.
We're not a tumbling team, but yes, in the middle of some of the routines, it is fun if we have a few girls that can throw aerials just to add to the choreography. We're not a dance team. We're not a stunt team, and that's okay. Not trying to be. It is fun to see what other tricks, but yes, you hit the basics.
Yeah. We're starting to have these little drop-in classes, and one of my friends was always the tricks person. And so I was like, Maddie, can you come teach like flips and tricks that we can do at home? And so I learned how to do a kip up this week. I did not execute it, but I learned, it was last week. I learned how to start to do a kip up. People do. And so you can teach all dogs new tricks.
I love it.
Yeah.
See, you keep evolving.
You have to. And I think, at least for me, when I judge finals, if dancers can showcase some of those pieces, like an aerial, like you mentioned, or back handspring, I think it's nice for them to do that in finals. So then you can know, okay, this person has this skill set if we're lacking in it, or if we're thinking that we're going to want to add that to the team and have a couple people do it.
You're dead on. Exactly.
So you mentioned you have prep classes and you have master classes. What would you say the difference of those two are? You bring choreographers for the master classes?
Oh, yeah. So, not a lot. It's just longer. It's 4 hours versus 2. And it's a sit down question and answering period, which I do try to save time after the prep classes as well. But it's also speakers. Maybe the Pro Bowl person comes and speaks on etiquette and attire. But then the person is also, she's going to at least learn one full out ends, what we would consider a end zone dance or a longer dance,
Okay.
and then several 2 or 3 fillers.
Great.
So during prep classes, it's usually time just for the one big dance, but this gives us time. We add fillers and more pieces to the choreography.
Awesome. Okay, great. And then prelims is open to everyone. They have to apply by a certain date.
Yes, April 15th was the deadline.
I'll add the website to the show notes. That way the dancers can go directly to the website. And do you require a resume and headshot for the application?
Yes.
Okay, great. And for you, when you're looking at headshots, would you rather see a dancer in their audition outfit, or would you rather see them in like something professional, similar to how they would show up to game day?
I tell them I don't want anybody who goes spend money on headshots or anything like that. To be honest with you, for me, the headshots or the full body shot or whatever is strictly because I want to know your name. I don't want you just to be a number. And yes, sometimes it's, oh gosh, wait, her name is, we constantly test, but we work really hard, get everybody a name tag upon signing in every prep class just to start to get vocabulary and names going and so forth. But it's more because anybody can doctor up a picture and make it this, make it that. It's really so that we know who she is. Because once she gets in the interview, we're going to see the raw person, the real situation. And then we recommend business dress, business attire. And so I feel like we get our cake and eat it too, that you get to see their perception. And they've all just done such a great job recently coming in their suits like, oh my God, I loved your outfit. So I just feel the quality of the the people coming through that get to the finals truly have worked hard and studied their craft and studied our team and latched up with maybe veterans or people that they trust that gives them advice. And yeah.
Love it. What is a mistake that you see dancers make year after year that you wish that they knew about heading into audition? Man, you would be so great if you just did X.
One of the things that people come in obviously intimidated, okay? And I find the same thing with rookies who make the team, who may be profound, incredible performers, dancers. They work hard to stay in their place. They don't want to step on toes. They don't want to upset a veteran and thinking they're trying to take all of that.
Yeah.
My recommendation is perform the dance, perform it. Remember, you're on the stage, perform it. Don't just go through the motions and, let's assume everybody's going to hit their spots, hit their motions for the most part, right? But who are you going to watch? You're going to watch the person who's performing, who's owning it, who's performing it, who is making eye contact. And again, it takes a certain level of professionalism because not every people get stage fright and get scared. And maybe this is their first year ever auditioning outside of high school or college. Most likely out of college could be. And so my biggest advice is working hard to own it, perform it, and don't be shy.
Yeah. And I think we were talking about the technically trained dancers. I've seen, at least for myself, the most technically trained dancers are most likely studio dancers, and they don't have necessarily that like entertainment power.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. And so like at the end of the day, you are auditioning to be the entertainment team of the organization, and grabbing the judge's attention is exactly what you should be doing at audition. And don't be afraid to do it, because you don't want to like hair whip your hair at the judge's table to get their attention. But you want to be able to perform and entertain to keep their attention, because you're ultimately auditioning to be an entertainer.
Exactly. And I get that's the hardest piece for these young ladies to present or master. Come on, you got it in you. You got it. And then it's a matter of making sure you're telling the right dancer, get it up, let's perform it, own it. Because then you get somebody who isn't sure how to interpret that, and they're overextending, overperforming. And so therefore they go into it out of control.
Yes.
And so it's like trying to tell you, need you to stay in control, but elevate the performance, get into your audience, get into the stage. And I know that's easier said than done. And a lot of times, like, I get it. It takes some time as you get into the team, if you're on the team. But right now, again, what is your objective? The objective is, how can I score wise or be hired within this 30? What can I do different? Not different just to be different isn't necessarily a good thing, but how can I be in that top 30 tier? Because what we find as coaches, we get to 22 to 25, hands down, and check the boxes. We add the scores from the skill sets and the interviews and etc. The hardest positions to fill are those last few positions. Why is that? Because, wow, you could have 5 or 7 people in 3 or 4 spots. And truly, it's going back. Coaches keep really detailed notes. And so it's going back to, wow, she did drop her leg. It's splitting hairs. But I kid you not, those are the toughest positions. So how can you score in those 26 or 23, 24 and not be on the discussion table?
Yeah. Yeah.
Those take days. The discussion table takes the longest.
I know. I sure know it. we've been in those rooms and holding up the photos and be like, who are we gonna? There's like 5 people in front of us and we have 2 spots and they all are the same caliber. And that's what like I tell the dancers, if you made it to finals, there are just a few things that you could potentially tweak to make it a yes. Finalists, it could be like one person had a score 0.5 above the other person, and that's it.
It's totally splitting hairs. You just have this like little small group of people in that same range of within points. And it's not about the points. We're
No.
hiring for a department. I'm trying to get away from auditions as cheer auditions as we used to know it way back in the day. It's so much deeper than that. It's as a person in my position, I'm looking to hire for a department. So maybe somebody else did do the double turn and not fall out of it or hop or something. But maybe this person, as you watch them through the process, still comes out on top. There's just so many elements, but it's so doable. It's so doable.
Yeah. You were mentioning performing and performance. What would you say is your guys' performance style? There's some that are like sassy, sexy, smiley, hard hitting, big moves, all the different things. What is your guys'?
You'll have to check out the website with, I think it should have a lot of dances posted.
Good.
We're a lot of things.
Yeah.
Hip hop. I think the choreographers that we use, there's several. I think hip hop is always a favorite.
Yeah.
I push to make sure we're getting in the palm jazz, just playing clean. Kick line. We do have a kick line in the pregame, but I like to make sure that in the end zones here and there, we have 2 end zones a game, not counting the pregame on the centers on the field. But we're a blend of different styles, which is what I'm trying to keep it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want it to be fun.
Yeah.
What makes my thing to coaches is constantly gnawing with our coaching team is appear. What's the visual? Again, we only have 2 shots at this whole game.
Yeah.
That's a lot. Some teams don't get 2. Again, I don't count the pregame. I'm counting the either end zone throughout the game. And I want the fans to, they're there to watch football, but I want this to be the icing on the cake, you know. So that's all. It's just you're a performer, win or lose, win or lose. The smile, the stage, you owe it to the fans paying several $100 a game to be there.
Yeah.
And I want to make sure we're doing our part to entertain the fans. I do know around the league, a lot of people have said, and then when we've done the international games, like we dance the whole game. I'm not into freestyle and do whatever you want. Yeah. We're more structured, but back to what you said, what's our caviar? What's our style? They're doing fillers a lot throughout. But again, I just like more constructive performances, again, from a visual. I travel a lot during the season and away games as well. And everybody has their own style, but I think we're a unique dance team.
Yeah, I love that. Can you talk logistics just a little bit for in season for dancers who are wanting to join your team? How many practices? How early on game days do they need to get there? And you have a doctor on your team, so we know that is a huge commitment. And I know a lot of dancers come to me and they're like, "Can you still have a full-time job? Can you be going to school while still on a team?" I would love to just hear what your guys' schedule is like.
Yeah, it doesn't break the schedule by all means, but it's an unforgiving system, meaning at the beginning of the year, they'll know their schedule June 1st through the first week of January or whatever. When the season ends, they will know their schedule. So during the normal season or during the normal year or practice year, it's Tuesday, Thursdays, 2.5 hours each time. It's set. We don't go, oh my gosh, can anybody practice on Saturday? We respect them too much. We would never, unless there was something so cool, ladies. We have this huge opportunity.
Yeah.
who's interested. We have a new partner who's interested. But Tuesday, Thursday, the month of July is Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Wednesdays they clean. Coaches aren't there. Tuesday, Thursday, Tuesday, Thursday. Okay, 2.5 hours each time. On game week, it's 3 hours each practice, Tuesday, Thursday. And then, of course, we modify if it's Thanksgiving, which is obviously on Thursday.
Yeah.
We were away this Thanksgiving. So we had practice Tuesday, but the way our team development coach, did it, we got in our practices for that game. But then we had, the club throws a fabulous holiday party for the players, cheerleaders, media, their in-house media. It's really nice. They bring in animals and donkeys and Santa Claus, and they give the cheerleaders the same gift they give the players.
That's awesome.
It's very cool. And that happened to be on a Thursday, like December 18th. That's our practice line. But we just modify, and when we get to that point of the year, it works out okay. So we just have that. The schedule's pretty not flexible, meaning those are set practices, but we also respect them, that we don't, we work really hard to make sure it's on the schedule June 1st, so that, okay, there might have to be a Wednesday practice. It's unusual during the season outside of the July practice. There could possibly be, because, or maybe we have a home Christmas game, or maybe we are going to have a home Thanksgiving game. We take that in consideration, but in June, when we create the schedule, we know that in advance.
Yeah. And are you guys practicing 7 p.m. to 10 p.m.?
We're able to 6:30 to 9:30. And then prior to, we could potentially we have a social committee team, and it'll be like, okay, for 30 minutes before practice. And then, but it's all, they're all compensated for and on payroll. But then we potentially might, between social media team and after every game. So let's say we play game on a Sunday, then that Tuesday we meet with the line leaders to give feedback to the team. And so that the line leader is aware of, you have little Susie on your side that's not paying attention to you. And so we just go over a recap, a throwback to them. And then we personally as coaches go to each of the groups at the end of that practice. So yeah, it's a packed schedule. And the expectation is it's more or less a seasonal position. I still have appearances going, but more or less it's a seasonal position. So absolutely, you expect them to have a job or be in college or being a profession or on their way to a profession.
How early on game days do you guys?
Coaches call time for meetings upstairs is 6:45, 7, or to get through security at 6:45. When we come back, the gals start coming in at 7:30. But that's their choice. They just have to be ready for field and stretching at 8:30, because then we have a field practice at 9 o'clock to 9:30. Then they have one more upstairs practice until 10:15, and then they sit and eat and talk and do pictures and stuff. So some of them may be there when I come out of my meeting at 7:30, because they're there to do field pictures.
Okay.
They like their field time.
Yeah, I don't doubt it. What is one perk of being part of the Bengals that the dancers get that you that someone might not know until they're on the team?
We definitely have a lot of partnerships this year, more so than ever. But this year, it was crazy. We had 3 food things, like Better Blend is a smoothie bowl or healthy bowls, and they would load X amount of dollars, a substantial amount of money on our account every month.
Wow.
And I probably go in every day and get one. I'm not kidding. Then we had another partnership that had healthy bowls. I was actually there today, and they put money on the accounts. And we had a sushi place, puts money on the account.
Wow.
And then we had 15 partnerships. So there's a brow, there's aesthetics, one's a health spa with a doctor spa. The other is studio aesthetics. And so if they choose, we don't That's everyone's personal thing, but they can get some nice facials. We have a couple of we have a facial bar that gives them a free facial month. Then the Medimorph, the spa with the doctor, they can get a very expensive facial each month. Their hydrofacials, free Botox, an amazing hair salon, color cut, whatever.
Yeah.
And then we had some great partnerships with add-ons this year, like Westmore Beauty, tanning stuff. And we have Mobile Glow who comes in. She's an amazing owner, Kate and Laura. She comes in, and let's say a game is Sunday, they will bring their equipment, their little huts and whatever. The gals tan on Thursday after practice.
Yeah.
So we hit a home run. Beach waiver, amazing curling iron tools.
Yeah.
We killed it this year on the perks. The perks were over the top.
Yeah. That's so amazing. And I think just this is a job, and you do get all of these amazing benefits that also come with it. I remember the first time I had to pay for my hair, it was like a punch to the gut. It was, oh my gosh, is this how much it really how much people charge for this? I haven't had to pay for it for 10 years.
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah. And there are so many things. And I thank you for sharing all of those amazing things, because I think it just showcases the value that you have for your dancers and being able to get them things that, and treating them like the brand ambassadors that they are, and the perks that they get to have with being part of the organization.
Yeah, I especially love the skincare. We have Brownlee Skincare Studios that truly have really incredible products and then I've engaged a couple of those. I serve on the board of what's called HER Cincinnati, which stands for Housing, Education, Recovery, Sex Trafficking.
Wow.
And I'm on my fifth year on the board, and I've been able to bring in better blends to the sex trafficked ladies that don't.
Yeah.
And then Brownlee, the skin was making up little kits and so forth for them because they probably don't get skincare. So that's the other cool thing about our partnerships, is that they like to engage with us. One day, last off season, Better Blend came in with the osteotic balls, and then the cheerleaders would make, the owner brought them all in, and then the cheerleaders made the ladies the toppings. Do you want bananas and strawberries? And just, it's been an incredible run the past year or two with these people.
And it's building community, right? It's a close community, and being able to give back, like you said, and build the community in Cincinnati. So amazing.
And it's a small world in Cincinnati. We're a big little city, or little big city, whatever you want to say. We're not huge metropolitan. And that's the other thing too. People, we're starting to finally see the it's coming to fruition. In the past, people didn't say, "Oh, I want to come to Cincinnati and be a dancer," like, because what's their profession? But now, finally, I feel so thankful between P&G, GE. I've got chemical engineers at P&G that were in Michigan or other parts of the country. And I'm excited now because finally getting to reap some of the benefits, some of the bigger teams, the bigger metropolitan areas. Okay, I see people wanting to go to San Francisco and dancing, or LA and dancing, or the coastal places, because for other obvious reasons.
Yeah.
But we're starting to get our fair share.
I love that.
And I'm so thankful.
Any last words of advice for any of the dancers listening who want to come audition for you?
I would say you can't get enough classes in. Take as many classes from wherever you live or wherever you can. Again, you can't have too many classes, and just, again, come in prepared with dancing. We'll get people that will say, "I haven't danced for a while, but I used to, and I know I could do it. It's not what I want." So if that is your craft and your art, stay on it. Keep pushing yourself, because maybe it's not art team. Maybe it's NBA. Maybe it's, who knows? Maybe it's a different theater kind of dance. So I'm just saying, make sure you come prepared as much as you can. And then we're going to help you with the rest. We'll help you. Okay, tonight is a hip hop choreographer, Jess Harris, or maybe next week is this style dancing, or maybe we'll use the Pro Bowl dance. So I just recommend that people come in with as much time right now spent dancing and preparing. And secondly, I would also suggest too, a lot of people don't know until we keep saying, let's video you next to someone. Let's video you so you can see the broken arms. Because sometimes we don't have the big dance studio with the mirror. It's just a player's space. So that's a negative that people can't necessarily come in and say, oh, my arms, I'm off. So I also suggest have somebody video you. You want to keep growing and you want to keep improving. Think about those extra tools. Have your sister, have somebody, once you learn that dance, have them video you and look at it and just see, oh, I get it.
Yes. We do video feedback in our program. They film themselves after every session and they throw it to me so they can get feedback in everything that they do, because it's so important to like just make those little tweaks. And like we talked about earlier, just getting better every single time is all we can ask of you.
There you go. So that's it. Just saying, take as many classes and just be as prepared as you can, because it's not how good you did last year or the year before, maybe, or, oh, I did better. I think I did better this year. Yeah, maybe you did, but so did they.
Yeah.
And so then 0 times 0 equals 0. Like so that's all I'm saying is just to make sure, put things in place to increase your level of expertise.
Yes, love that. This was so amazing. Thank you, Charlotte, for joining me. I appreciate you so much. And it was so great chatting with you.
Thank you.